Hey everybody, this is Laura with McLeod Homestead. Again, I was planning on just coming over here this morning, doing a little weed eating, working in the raised beds and getting plants in the raised beds. I have not touched a plant yet. I came over, did a little weed eating, did a lot more weed eating, and I figured as I was doing around the barrels, it was time to start working on this area because I intend to change the way my gardening is up here. One of the projects I am going to be starting to do is cleaning this area all out, and I am going to extend my fence over to here, and I'm going to build more raised beds over there. So the goal is to start cleaning all this out. So I got this area all cleaned out. I've got pallets here. I think I can fit 3 barrels comfortably across on them. So I'm going to go over. I've got to empty out water from last year, clean up the barrels, and then I'm going to set them up. And I'm doing this before I set up the fence because it's going to be a lot easier. I have not moved them barrels from that spot in probably at least 5 or 6 years. So this is like really different to me. And what I'm doing is this time, I'm putting them all on pallets. As you can see, I've got my level over there. I'll get to that in a minute. The reason I'm putting it up on pallets, one, when I go to weed eat, I'm not hitting these barrels every time. When you use a barrel to grow plants in it, you have to put a tarp around it. So many of my tarps got ruined because I'd go to weed eat and the string would hit the tarps and, well, you know the drill. So I'm trying to help eliminate that issue as well. It also makes it easier sometimes if I have to get up a little higher to be able to stand on something. This is obviously not in its permanent location. But I have pallets over here for 10 barrels. I've got all 10 barrels emptied from last year, cleaned out from last year, and placed on the pallets. I've got 5 of them on pallets and emptied and measuring out. The next step will be I've got to level each pallet, and then once the pallet's level, when the time comes to start filling them, then I will level the barrels as well. But I had to find 7 eggs. Now I can guarantee you these are probably no good. More than likely they're not. But I'm going to take them over to the house and test them just for fun. I grow 2 plants in each one of these. And when you do that, you want to make sure that your water level is pretty even. So, yeah, instead of planning, we started this project early. And it's a beautiful day. It's been warm. I've had to run to town to get more weed eater string. And of course, when you go to get weed eater string, you gotta stop and get a ice cream cone for the way home to help cool you off. As you can see, this pallet is not level. It's got to come up. Whew. I am just using rocks to try and help level it. Let's see. That is pretty good. It's close enough because the dirt side will pack down with weight. So that's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm just going to go through. I've got 2 of the pallets done. 8 more to go. As you can see, I've got all the barrels up. They're all leveled and ready to go. I have started cleaning this area. That is my beehive that I have built. I've got to finish. Not sure where I'm going to put that one. I did have a spot I was going to back in the day. Don't know. I was given all these beehives, and with things that happen in life, I just didn't have a chance to rebuild them or do anything with them. I would like to possibly do something with them. But that old metal frame for my very first greenhouse is in perfect shape yet. I've got it on some pallets, but obviously the pallets need checked out. But I do intend to keep this frame and do some work to it to use it like a shed. So while I am going to eventually here soon have to move it to clean this area out, I do have a future plan. I do have a future plan for that. This elderberry tree came up about 2.5 years ago from one of our pigs, and it is beautiful, and that will stay right where it's at and continue to grow. But this fence is all going to come down, and it's actually going to go across the front here. That will open up that section and this section that I'm in. And this looks really funny to me, not having any of the barrels there. Really funny. Good morning, everybody. I said I was not going to come over here and work today. But when I came out and let the chickens out, I walked over here and I decided it's not going to take me that long. I am going to cut the lights off of this fencing and cut the fencing down. So that way, and just start prepping so I can move this fence. Once this fence is moved, I can start building. Or start planning the build. Alright, I may be just a smidgen excited, but I really cannot be out here long. I have plans. I'm going to the casino with my mother, and later this evening my friend and I are going to a Big and Rich and Gretchen Wilson concert, and another one of my friends is going to meet us up there. So we're going to have a girls' night. These lights are my good lights that I had bought in through Amazon, and I really just have the actual lights clipped. Still gets moisture in them. I hate that. But nothing I can do. There's no drain hole in it. But when I put them on, what I did is I zip tied the cord. So I am just going to carefully cut all of these zip ties off without cutting the cord. So I have all the lights off of the fence. Having a little coffee break now. This fence here is all one big long piece. So I've got to cut it. Now, I don't want to cut it right at the corner. I want to leave a little bit of space and attach it to the pig fence over there. So I just brought my tin snips and we are just going to go right down the line. And then the next step is just going to be detaching it from the poles and then just folding the fence up until we're ready to reattach it. Who am I kidding? Trying to pull this fence out of the ground in certain areas is going to be downright difficult. And then there's other areas where the chickens and the rabbits have pushed the fence up so they could get under it. Not going to be as easy as it seems. But one thing we did not do is I don't think we buried this fence at all. As you can see, I have some wires here on these poles just cut, and most of it zip ties. This job just got a little bit harder. This fence, it's all disconnected. Perfect. I'm pulling it up. When they put these posts in, they went through the bottom part of the fence to help hold it. So now I've got to pull out the post before I can finish getting the fence off, unless I want to cut the fence, and I really don't want to, unless I have to. All right, it's going to take a little bit of extra work, but I'll get it done. The fence now is all down. Now I'm just trying to loosen all these poles and get them all the way out now. When I got to look and the poles were not put through a fence, there's actually another piece of wire down there. As soon as I cut it, pulled it up, we had that one hard spot in the ground we had to mess with, but it actually came up pretty easy. Easier than I figured it would. Now these, getting them out of the ground without ruining them. Gotta love holiday weekends. All the camps are in. And the one across from us can be extremely obnoxious. You know, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, screams like somebody's being murdered, gets my dogs going. Just extremely rude, obnoxious. But Yeah, I don't want to ruin these posts. I want to actually reuse them if I can, because let's face it, they're not cheap to replace. And we got it. I got it out. Okay, I've got all the fence down except for the main pole over there. This wasn't even attached to the pole that went around the corner. So what I'm going to do, because I didn't like the slump, I am going to insert a pole every 4 feet. And I'm going to alternate between the shorter and the more heavy duty poles, just because I don't have any more of the smaller ones left. So I'm going to use the heavy duty ones because that's what I have. This was not on the agenda for today. I've got another half hour before I've got to get in the house and get ready to go. So I'm going to take advantage of it while I can. I will rest later. All right, the posts are all in. Is it a perfect straight line across? Absolutely not. Originally, I think we were going to bring it over level with the chicken coop back in the day, but then I built the pig pen. It's all right. I don't need a level straight line, but the poles are all in, and I just temporarily set it on the little poles to hold it up in place. I got to go in and get cleaned up and ready to go. And I did a lot more than I intended to today. Not gonna lie, my body's tired today. So I wasn't even gonna come out and do anything. I was just gonna take it easy today, but yeah, I just couldn't. That is fine. It's just one step closer to me starting to build more raised beds. All right, guys. Probably see you tomorrow. If not tomorrow, the next day. All right, everybody, this is the last day of getting this fence up. We are going to attach the fence to the posts. As you can see, I am leaving a little bit of the fence that will lay on the ground like this. That way it will help if any rabbits or anybody wants to try and get in to the garden area. I am just going to zip tie these onto the fence. It doesn't have to be super strong. I've got my little zip tie gun, which comes in handy, that pulls it nice and tight, and then it'll also cut the excess off when we get to the end, so we don't have a bunch of end pieces hanging around. So let me show you how easy this is. As you can see, I started the zip tie on this one. I'm just gonna pull it over a little bit, put the gun on it, and it cuts it right off. Alrighty, we've got the fence all attached. It is going nowhere. We only have one step left to do. We only have one more step to do, and that, my friends, is to attach the lights. So I've just got to remember to try and, so I get it about the same distance apart. As you can see, they just clip. I will zip tie in between. Zip tie it right to the fence. Use my little gun. And there we have it. Nice tight. All right, everybody, we've got it all on and attached, and we will light these up tonight. All right, everybody, I am in the greenhouse. It is raining. I just finished getting all the lights attached. I am going to attempt to get a picture of it tonight with the lights on for you. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next video. Toodles.